Good afternoon, everyone. It is my great honor to be here with each and every one of you. An honor for all of us to be with our heroes of Tiananmen Square. So many who are gathered here, Wang Dan and others. Thank you. Wei Jin Cheng, Han, so many heroes. And so it was that Marion Smith, thank you, and thank you to the victims of communism. Thank you to Tiananmen Square moms who are present with their words and present in spirit to remember the tragic chapter of the past. Today we remember the horror of the massacre in Tiananmen Square and the heroism of the Tiananmen Square protesters. We must remember because China still tries to deny these heroes their history. As the writer Liu Chun wrote, lies written in ink cannot disguise facts written in blood. 2 years after the massacre, Democrats and Republicans, a group of us, went to China on a human rights visit, and we unfurled a black and white banner reading in Tiananmen Square, to those who died for democracy. We were chased by police and the PLO and all, the PLA and the rest. There we are. There we are. The PLA then was coming down the steps to come after us there. We had to run. It was a question of who could run the fastest. But in any event, we must realize that what the Chinese did that day is a challenge to the conscience of the world. We cannot ignore that challenge. We must face it, and we must face what the Chinese are doing to the Uyghurs in China today. Any folks here from the Uyghur community? We are with you in that respect. Thank you. Where Kashi, I met him when he was 21 years old. That was 30 years ago. Well, I'm not going to do the math on that. He was one of the first dissidents to come to the United States to testify before a committee organized by Congressman Tom Lantos. It was an historic day for the Congress to welcome this brave, courageous leader of pro-democratic reform to the Congress of the United States. Little did we know that 30 years later we would still be having to make this fight. So in any event, we talked about the Uyghurs already, and then the protesters in Hong Kong seeking their freedoms. And aren't we proud of their courageous outpouring yesterday yesterday for us, today for us, but yesterday for them, their outpouring of support for the democracy protesters. The Tibetan people whose religion, culture, and language is under threat by the Chinese government, and the journalists, human rights activists, lawyers, Christians, and democracy activists persecuted without justice. It's very brave of those people in Hong Kong today because, as you know, the Chinese want to put a law in the books that would extradite any of the people that whose actions they're not happy with, and that jeopardizes tens of thousands of Americans who are in Hong Kong as well. In honor of all those who died for democracy in Tiananmen Square and around the world, we pledge to preserve their memory and to continue their fight. I'm so proud to have heard the words of my colleague, Congressman Levin of Michigan, who was in Tiananmen Square, who took his own photographs and has his own memories of what happened there. And so it is with great pride that we have a renewed spirit in the Congress as we observe the 30th anniversary. As a tribute to the courage, we are humbled to dedicate a statue here today. I see prisoner of conscience Wang Xingzhao. You know, one of the things the Chinese government likes to say, and I hope they can hear me from here, Chinese government, you may be in the crowd, you may be down the street, but I want you to hear what I have to say. You can tell the prisoners all you want that we don't remember them or know why they are imprisoned, but we do. And every chance we get, we want to mention their names on the floor of the Congress, outside the Capitol, and on any of our messages to the Chinese government. We believe there should be a great future between the United States and China. We believe that the Chinese people have a craving for democratic reform that is up to them to decide. And they should not be mowed over in a tank because they speak out for their own beliefs about freedom of expression. I want to join my colleague, Congressman from New Jersey, Chris Smith, who said we're either for the man before the tank or we're for the man who ordered the tanks on the kids. We're for the man before the tank. I think we can all agree on that. So thank you. Thank you for remembering. Thank you for honoring. Thank you for being here to enable us all to speak in a strong voice that we will remember, we will not forget, we will always be in awe of those who had the courage to speak for freedom. And now I guess we're going to have a sermon. Thank you all very much. It's an honor to be with you.